Do you want a little advice for adoptive parents? I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all over the world about parenting, good communication, how to build strong family bonds, child development, and education, all through the lens of the principle self-government. And in this video, we're talking about adoptive parents and successful parenting. In this video, we're going to be talking about some of the struggles that can come with adopting children, and we're going to talk about how to create a parenting structure where there can be calmness and security, as well as creating some very healthy, secure attachment. Adoption is a really beautiful thing. My husband was adopted, actually, and I am eternally grateful that he was adopted by such a wonderful family, by such caring parents. His upbringing was beautiful, and he thinks of it with reverence and love. We have since met his biological parents, and we absolutely love them too. And that gift that they gave our family and gave him at that time in their lives was a truly, truly blessed thing. But I do know that bringing in adoptive children can present some struggles, even though it's also a beautiful, magical thing to be part of. Sometimes there are bonding issues that can occur just because of attachment related to the adoption, depending on the age that the adoption happens, depending on possible chemical issues that could be part of maybe the birth, or maybe even some trauma that was experienced long before because the child is a little bit older at the time of the adoption. Attachment issues or reactive attachment disorder, often called RAD, can be a very common thing when a person is embarking upon their adoption journey. And we do have to be a little bit resilient, a little bit adaptive when we're going into adoption, because as much as we have this perfect picture in our minds of how it's going to turn out, it doesn't always turn out the same way. And so we have to remember that we are going to keep working toward a certain goal. We're not going to get our perfect goal right at the beginning. The one thing that we can do as parents who are engaging in taking in these children and making them part of our own lives is we can make sure that we create a really great environment for them. So what does that good environment look like? It looks like predictability. It looks like connection, unity, belonging, all of those things that a person needs at the very beginning of their life. Even if you are adopting an older child who's been through some trauma, start with the basics of belonging, connection, predictability. The teaching self-government parenting approach was actually started back in the 1990s when I was doing therapeutic treatment care for troubled teens. So these were older children. They all had experienced some form of trauma. There was neurodiversities. There were attachment issues. Some of them even came from failed adoptions. And they were coming to my home to get training, therapeutic care, to help them be able to get a new leash on life. So one of the biggest things that I did was I taught them ahead of time exactly how the parenting would happen, exactly what type of communication that they could expect from me. And then I predictably and consistently followed through with what I told them I would do. Don't make the mistake of coddling your new little adopted baby at the very beginning. I know that that's so tempting. They're so cute and cuddly. You've waited so long to have this person be part of your family, and it's just exciting just to let them, I guess, be spoiled a little bit. Now, of course, babies are different than toddlers, but once they start to have tantrums, get angry about things, start teaching them about calmness. There's videos on this channel where you can actually see how my daughter taught her little baby, before the baby was even a year old, how to self-regulate and take deep breaths. Start blowing on their hand and saying, let's take a deep breath. Start breathing with them. so they can see that you can breathe and they can breathe, and then start teaching them what to do with their breaths when they start to go out of control. That's one of the first skills that you can teach them so that they can learn how to choose calmness. Now, there are many other skills that you can teach your children too, and these children's books each teach one of the 4 basic skills for children. These books teach the skills following instructions, accepting no answers and criticism, accepting consequences, and disagreeing appropriately. Even little 2-year-olds can learn to disagree appropriately. When my granddaughter was like 16 months old, she couldn't even form a complete sentence, but her parents were starting to teach her to disagree appropriately. She could do it with sign language. She would start to whine and her mom would say, "Oh, Clara, we don't talk like that." And then Clara would stop and she would say, "Take a deep breath, Clara." And so Clara would start taking deep breaths. Her mom would tell her, "Good job." And then she would say mama. And Clara would say mama. And then she would say please. And Clara would rub please in her sign language. And she would say, "Oh, do you want me to get you another cracker?" And Clara would go, "Please." Yes, that's what she wanted. So she would teach her, we don't communicate by whining, complaining. We communicate by talking with each other. Even if they didn't have all of the words yet, that's what my daughter did with her children. It was remarkable to see, because I can honestly say I waited until they were about 2 years old before I started teaching stuff like that. But she started doing it even before 2 years old, and my grandchildren have been incredibly successful at it. So the biggest advice that I have for you is pre-plan ahead of time what type of skills you want to teach your children. Start learning now, whether you've adopted the children already or you're just looking ahead to adoption. Start preparing for the skills of communication and self-government that you will need. Prepare yourself so that you can calmly communicate and not take their tantrums and misbehaviors personally, but instead can look at them for what they are. They're telling me that they need something right now. They're telling me that they need me to understand something. How can I help them understand a better way to communicate that with me? And so then you can talk to them about their calmness and their communication and teach them the skills that they need for success. Now, of course, we may need to correct the children from time to time. You're going to want to teach the children exactly what words or script that you will use for the correction. And I have all of those provided for you in the TSG parenting course that is on my website, teachingselfgovernment.com. So get the help you need. If your children are older, they could even do some of that course with you. When you take that time to prepare, everything changes. There is a mother, a good friend of mine, who adopted a little baby, and she worked really hard at creating belonging and attachment. And he had some tendencies to get a little bit hyper-focused and addicted to some things. And she decided she better teach him to accept a no answer. She better teach him to communicate effectively and calmly with her. She has developed such a wonderful bond with her child, and he has such a strong sense of self and belonging. It's beautiful to see what their family has done because they took the time to focus on the connection and also the correction, so that he knew where his boundaries were, and he knew that that person that was showing him his boundaries really did care and understand him. Adoption is a beautiful thing, a liberating thing, a healing thing, a comforting thing. It's a spirit that I wish everybody had in the world, that we would all just adopt each other and take each other in and love each other in a way like family. Whenever a family decides to adopt a child, they're expanding love out further beyond the borders of their home. And it's a beautiful thing to see. I would love for you to be successful at that, and I know that sometimes the hardest thing is overcoming our own flaws and shortcomings. Probably the thing that I notice the most is that many adoptive parents, because they were kind of thrown into the parenting kind of quickly, they don't necessarily have the calmness that they need. So I have a Calm Parenting Toolkit on my website, teachingselfgovernment.com, and I would like to give you that Calm Parenting Toolkit for free right now. So if you go to teachingselfgovernment.com, right on the homepage, you can click to get the Calm Parenting Toolkit for free. There's 10 tools for calmness in there that should help you and your children as you're starting on your journey to self-government.